Well, good morning on this Tuesday of Holy Week. We come and we want to remember what we saw yesterday about the authority of Jesus. God holds authority in our lives because He is the good God who is watching over us. As He holds all things together through Jesus Christ, as He encourages us and strengthens us through the Holy Spirit, as we know that God has a plan for all things and He's working all things together for the good of those who love Him and ultimately for our eternal glorification with Him. Today, we come and we see a promise that Jesus is all that we need, that He provides all that we need, and all that we have is more than enough for Him. As we look a little further in Luke chapter 20, we find that these religious leaders have now sent some spies to be among the disciples as Jesus is teaching in the temple. And they're trying to find a way to destroy Him. And they come to Him in verse 21 of Luke chapter 20. And they ask, "Teacher, we know that you speak and teach rightly and show no partiality, but truly teach the way of God. Is it lawful for us to give tribute to Caesar or not?" They use this question about paying taxes to try to trap Jesus. But He turns this question back on them and He tells them to show me a denarius. Whose likeness and inscription does it have? They respond, "Well, Caesar's inscription is on it. His picture is on it." And Jesus says to them, "Then render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." Jesus comes and He says, what is it that is owed to the government? Give that is owed to them. But what is it that is God's? What has God given you? What are we blessed with that we are called to give back? Because Jesus came and He didn't just come and give a tithe of His life. He didn't come and just clock in from 9 to 5. He didn't just put in His years until retirement. Jesus gave everything. This week we are coming to the time of realization of all that He paid and suffered for us as He gives His life on the cross on Good Friday. And He's asking of us, what are we giving to God? Have we given all that God has given to us back to Him? You might be saying, well, I know that God has blessed me, but I don't have very much to give. I don't have much that's useful. I don't have much time. I don't have much energy. I don't have much money. Maybe you feel like you don't have any talents that you can give. But I want to remind you that any little bit that you have, plus God, is more than enough. Look at what He says at the beginning of chapter 21 as Jesus is again in the temple. He's watching people come and bring their offerings. He sees the rich come and pour tons of money into these offering boxes. And then He sees a widow who came and gave 2 small copper coins. And He points her out and He says, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all of them. For they all contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, put in all she had to live on." Today we want to remember that Jesus came and He gave His life for us so that we can give our lives for Him. All that we have, however much or however little, He tells us to give it back in faith, to trust Him that however much or however little you might have today, when we put it with Jesus, it is more than enough. So I pray that today, whatever it is that you need, you'll remember that God provides, that He is enough, that He can take whatever small amount you have and multiply it. If that's time today, if that's patience today, if that's money today, whatever it is, God can do so much more than we can imagine. And so I pray today, as we inch closer to Easter each and every day, that you would draw closer to the God who holds you, the God who sustains you, the God who gave His life for you. Church, we love you. We're praying for you. We're thankful for you. Have a blessed day.